for the very first time, it's been about a week and a half to 2 weeks since we put this whiskey in. We're gonna try it for the first time.
We took this barrel of 3-year-old bourbon and put it in this Senza wine barrel.
We're also gonna pour a little sample of what that whiskey was before it went into the barrel, so that we can get an A/B comparison.
So why is it important for us to be sampling this? Because it's only been a week and a half.
Friends of ours at Wyoming, when they first tried their sherry cask finish, they figured they were gonna leave it in there for 2 to 4 or 6 months. They checked it 1 month in and it was ruined. So this could be done. Ooh, yeah. There's been movement.
Little thud. The fanciest straw ever.
It really is.
It looks pretty from here. It does.
Okay, so first question
Is there a difference in the color?
is there a difference in color?
Yes.
Yes.
It turned red. The edges of this one turn light gold, and the edges of this one turn red. Holy, it's a whole different ballgame. I mean, it's still Eleanor, but there's a softness to it. Notice how bright, shiny, kind of woody, eucalyptus. Check out how soft and sweet everything gets all of a sudden.
Oh,
Right?
Just in that little time.
Yeah.
Even the bitter note is tamed a bit.
Yep.
So,
Right now, it's a gloriously subtle wine finish. On the other hand,
I have never been accused of being subtle or tasteful. I say we let it ride.
I agree.
Aging and finishing whiskey. What is technically the difference between aging a whiskey and finishing a whiskey?
Primary flavor age type versus accent aging.
Okay.
And accent aging is essentially referred to as finishing.
Okay, so you were describing earlier, aging is basically, the barrel that you're gonna age it in is what that whiskey is going into first.
Right.
And that's the primary barrel.
The primary flavor drivers.
And then putting it into a different kind of barrel to finish the whiskey.
Right. Yeah, think of it like this. If you're cooking main dish and you have all the main ingredients, and at the very end you drop in some peppers, and you just cook it down enough to add the pepper flavor into it, and then you pull it off the stove.
Yeah.
You didn't stop cooking when you added the peppers.
Right.
Right? You were still cooking. Now, did you cook with peppers for 2 hours? No, you cooked for 2 hours.
Right.
The last part was still cooking.
Yeah.
Right? So when you move whiskey from a bourbon barrel into a sherry barrel, you're still aging it. So here's a weird thing. So we have a bourbon. We put it in new oak. It's 3 years old.
Yeah.
If we move that whiskey from that bourbon cask into a French oak or into a sherry or into a rum or a port cask.
Or into Senza wine barrel, which we just did.
Yeah. You are, according to TTB, no longer are you aging this thing.
Okay.
You're finishing it. And not only can you not count that towards how old it is, it's now a specialty whiskey spirit category, no longer a bourbon, and you aren't legally allowed to put an age on it. Of any kind.
So we can't even get credit for the 3 years we did?
Can't put any age statement on it at all. Now you can get to that nuance and character without finishing. Like for example, Laphroaig lore. We were talking with those guys this week, Simon Brooking, and he was saying what they have is Laphroaig in all these different casks from the very first time ever.
Yeah.
And aged their whole lives only in that cask.
Yeah.
Sherry, French oak, or European oak, American bourbon, first fill, new American oak, all these different ones.
Right.
And then they're blending them together to create a flavor profile.
Oh.
So that's not finishing, but you're getting all of the accent flavors from assembling the recipe.
Yeah.
Now, there's really only 7 ways to finish or age whiskey.
Okay.
Right? One of the earliest scotches to do this was Balvenie Doublewood.
Okay.
Where they went and took something from one barrel into another barrel. So they're
raisin caramel butter.
And this is, by the way, bourbon cask, then moved to sherry cask.
Okay, what are the 7 for finishing?
American bourbon.
No. Finishing options, 7 options in terms of not what's possible, but what's popular.
What's popular? Because now anything's possible if you want to make it work or figure out a way to make it work.
Right.
I mean, Sweden is using Swedish oak.
Okay.
Someone was putting pine staves into something.
So when it comes to finishing, you're no longer required to use oak.
No.
You talking about pine staves?
Well, someone put it in there while it was sitting in an oak barrel.
Oh, so it's sitting in an oak barrel, and then you put more stuff in there.
Yeah,
so
now it's a whole weird animal.
With finishing, it still needs to be oak, though.
Yeah, or what was aspen? It wasn't pine, it was aspen. It was the aspen guy.
Yeah, but it's still not oak is the point.
It's still not oak, but it was just pieces floating in there.
I got you.
While it sat in oak barrels.
Okay, so still in oak.
Yeah. Popular 7 officially are American, beer, port, wine, sherry, Madeira, rum.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So there's not this really strict guidelines of how it can be finished. Once you're talking about finishing, it's like, okay.
The barrel just... Did that barrel used to have something in it? Yes, then you can call it that.
Okay. When it comes to a distillery, trying to figure out what they want to finish a whiskey in. I mean, what's the process? Are they doing like a glass rinse? Are they finishing in a small barrel for like a limited window of time?
No, it's risky. Basically, there's not a lot because it's so new to the general world history of whiskey. You know, we've got hundreds and hundreds of years of what happens in aging whiskey. We've only got less than half a century in true finishing experiences.
Yeah.
And so learning from other distillers, oh, don't do this. We fucked it up like this, right? Sometimes they will take their whiskey, drop a few drops of the sherry that's coming from the barrel they're about to fill.
Yeah.
Right? Now remember that when a barrel from America, bourbon barrel, gets sent to Scotland,
Right.
it still has bourbon in it. Not really.
Right.
It's just soaked into the wood. You can sweat a barrel by heating up the wood and it'll ooze all the bourbon out of it.
Oh.
And by doing that, you can recover a few liters of bourbon.
Really?
Yeah. Straight from the wood. That's right.
It's gotta be woody.
Yeah. Now the same thing goes for wine. If it's a pretty freshly dumped wine cask, you probably got a few liters of wine in that barrel. And as you pour whiskey into it, and the wood gives and takes and gives and takes, that wine definitely mixes into the whiskey that's in there. So it's not just wood. You need to take into account all the flavor profiles. Are they going to complement, accent, destroy?
You know what I think my contribution to the world of whiskey could be?
Sex appeal?
Brave new finishing options. So our first brave new finishing option, snowballs. That's what it looks like. Our last pastry option is, of course, the ding dong. Break it open to release that flavor. For the Isla lovers among us who really like that savory, meaty, the ham sandwich. Here we go. Flamin' hot Cheetos. Extra flamin' hot though. Now the next step is the whiskey that we're going to finish. Kentucky Gentleman with the plastic squeeze bottle. Just gonna check and make sure that we have good coverage. Then we're gonna seal it up in a barrel for the perfect amount of time. Okay. Are you ready?
Sure.
Right here, we have 5 brave new finishing options. Sustainable Forestry Initiative. So that means oak barrel, right?
Yeah, of course. American oak, obviously.
Oak barrel. First things first, we're gonna do some rapid temperature changes to exacerbate the aging process and see if we can let those finishing elements, those flavors, really just let loose.
Don't melt the cup.
I'm not gonna melt the cup. It's just a touch. It's a touch.
Okay.
Oh, it's already our first problem.
We got a problem.
We gotta lean. So we'll lean on.
That's for science. It's 77 seconds. You don't want to do it for 77 seconds?
Okay, we just touched it. We just touched it with the heat.
Okay.
You're really gonna like that one.
Okay.
Oh, I could feel that one. That one got warm. This is the coup de grace. This is the finale.
Witness me! What are you guys doing?
We're not here!
Alright, so we finished up the last ones.
Now, Rex, do we kill the witnesses?
I've added heat from the brutal Texas summer. It's been pushed into the wood.
Yep.
Now the cold from the winter is going to pull it back out. The fibers from our oak barrels are going to contract. So we got them all in there. Now we wait. Can you hear them getting delicious?
Yeah. Okay, I've got the last 2.
Ooh. Snowball. Okay. The ding dong. A ham sandwich. Ooh, flaming hot Cheetos. Going for character. Flaming hot Cheetos. 5 brave new finishing options. Now for the tasting. We're gonna go get Daniel and let him decide what is the greatest innovation in whiskey today. The future of whiskey happens now.
Oh God.
Hold on, this is all super edible.
Yeah, but look at the glasses. Those are just sloshy, coated. You didn't strain
I
anything.
strained the hell out of it.
Those got chills.
Some of these could actually be delightful. This is super simple. You'll know where we landed on the very first option right here. What's the nose?
Oh, chocolatey? Yeah, it's some kind of chocolate. It might be like Pop-Tarty because there's bread notes in there too. It's weird chocolate. It's like bready chocolate.
Kentucky Gentleman, finished in snowballs.
What's a snowball?
Marshmallow pink things with sprinkles on top, and it's got like a chocolate cakey center.
Oh, it has a chocolate cakey center.
Yeah, snowballs.
Well, I nailed that shit.
This one, this is special. Custom designed finishing for you.
More chocolate, but this is a deeper chocolate than this. This doesn't have the doughy note. Cocoa powder or something. This is like a cupcake or a ho-ho or something.
Ding dong?
Oh, it's ding dong.
You love the ding dong.
How can I not think of ding dong?
Better or worse than the straight gentleman?
Worse.
Now this one, I don't know. I don't think you can do it.
Yeah. That's bad. That's so bad. It's clingy. It's like, it's still not going away. It's oily. I have no idea what that is.
Kentucky Gentleman, finished in a ham sandwich.
Oh, really? A ham sandwich?
A ham sandwich.
Oh, that was weird as shit.
All right, the final one. This, we're going for character. We went sweet.
Smell that. Did you smell that? Smell it. You smell that. Now just before I drink it, just see what you've done. It's gonna make you gag, isn't it?
You ever take your dog to get groomed?
Yeah. Oh, but with burnt hair. It's a medical facility and burnt hair.
All right, you got that. That does it. You can't give notes that way. You can't give any flavor notes that way.
That is spicy Cheetos.
Ah, you got it.
Ha!
You nailed it.
Hey, what's up?
Where's your scoot?
It's at the tower.
You want to get on?
No.
Right here.
No.
Right there. I got space for you.
I know. Yeah.
Look, there's that little seat right there. There's a Okay, Daniel.
Yes.
There is a giant gaping hole of information we have not talked about when it comes to aging and finishing whiskeys as barrel size. It's a big factor.
It is. It's a huge factor. As a matter of fact, one of the finishing options is to move something from large barrels to small barrels, or to take only small barrels and blend them in with things that were in larger barrels.
How does the size of a barrel make a difference at all? Like what's the big deal?
The short version is it increases the ratio of wood to liquid. People will say, oh, well, you can hyper age it in smaller barrels. That's not really true. You can actually simply accent the effects of the wood a lot faster.
So are we going to start using small barrels for some things?
Yeah, so Balcones reached out and said, hey, we're getting rid of the last of our 5-gallon barrels. They've now shifted entirely to 53-gallon barrels. And I called and said, hey, we'll take all that you have left. And so they just brought them over this morning.
Yeah.
You can see the history of this barrel right here.
Oh,
It
yeah.
started with rumble, and then it was dumped almost a year later. And then it had malt put into it. And the malt was probably dumped today. They probably didn't mark that because they now got rid of the barrel. They don't need to track it anymore.
So there's like fresh stuff in here?
Oh yeah, this is freshly. See if there's any liquid left? No.
Yeah. We bop and hippity hop.